focusing on Liverpool, though, because obviously they're in the FA Cup final this weekend. So let's preview that. They face Chelsea at Wembley. Be a great atmosphere. I'm lucky enough to be going to that famous stadium for the final. So I'll have coverage for Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com, live analysis, reaction. What do we think about this one, Nick? Because there's some... It's interesting to see how Klopp is going to rotate his team, right? In terms of they got the game against Southampton a couple of days later. Then the Champions League final is coming up. Fabinho is out, which I think is a big blow for them, especially against Chelsea. And for Chelsea, I guess we don't really know what front three is going to turn up for them and start, because Lukaku, Mount, and Pulisic played really well in the last few games. But then you have Havertz, Werner, and then maybe Mount or Ziyech can also come in as well. So it's going to be a really interesting game, isn't it? And like we saw in the League Cup final, when they're league meetings as well, these two teams are very evenly matched, and Tuchel and Klopp just seem to match up very well as coaches as well.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that I've seen Liverpool do what they do this year, I would pick Chelsea to win. I mean, I've learned. It's a little bit like when I learned to stop saying that Burnley were going to get relegated, and then I still kept picking them to get relegated. Right? This doesn't happen to that club. I feel like this doesn't happen to Liverpool. We've seen them lose to Chelsea in penalty kicks before. Was it either the Super Cup or the Community Shield? I can't remember which one it was. Pulisic had a big day. So I do think that this is a chance for Chelsea to shine. I think they'll be absolutely fired up. Chelsea, I should say. But to say that what we've seen on the balance of the season, a team in Liverpool that is 16 points better than Chelsea, to think that just this is the day that it swings at a neutral ground with a quadruple on the line, it just feels a little icky for me to think that.
Andy, you agree with that?
Yeah, well, I just hope for Jurgen Klopp's sake that the Chelsea don't come out and play a defensive kind of negative style and then try to go direct on him and create, just one or two chances instead of 25 or 30. He does understand that his team is exceptionally talented, and it's very different from everybody else in the world aside from Manchester City. He does get that, right? So it was very strange to hear them say that after the draw with Tottenham, and I understand that that's a bit of frustration coming from dropping points, and probably that's going to be the result that we look back on. And maybe it cost them the title. Maybe it won't matter in the end. Maybe they would have lost it by 1 point instead of 3 in the end. But it almost feels like, and I think I said this to you guys yesterday or the day before, he should really just take a day or overnight and do his press conference after the game the next morning, so that he has a little time to think and maybe say some of these things in the mirror, get them out, see how it sounds out loud. And if it sounds a little bit over the top, maybe a little bit ridiculous, just, kind of hold it in. Jokes aside, I can't see Liverpool not taking this with what they have on the line, even if they can't win the Premier League title, the chance to win a treble, to win 3 cups. They are a cup competition team. And we've been saying it all season long. City are the marathon team, 38-game league setup. They're going to be probably the team with the advantage. But when you put 2 teams against one another, whether 90 minutes, 180 minutes, knockout style, Liverpool, the way that they play, the way that they can get on you, the way that they can overwhelm you, not control the game maybe as much as Manchester City, which you need to do over a league season, it just sets up absolutely perfect for them.
I feel like this is going to go to extra time and maybe penalties. I just feel like they've played each other so often the last few years. Tuchel, again, I feel there's an argument to be made that Chelsea are a really good cup team as well, considering, got to the cup final last year, League Cup final. Of course, they've lost those at Wembley, but the Champions League final, how they stifled Man City in that one. They're clearly the underdogs, Chelsea, but Nick mentioned it there. If Werner starts, if Pulisic starts or comes off the bench, they're pacing behind Liverpool. If Liverpool do play the high lines, I feel like Chelsea have more quality to finish those chances compared to some of the other teams that Liverpool have been playing recently. So I could make an argument for Chelsea to nick this, but I'd be very silly to bet against Liverpool. I think we all would, given their form and just the relentless nature. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, no, sorry, this is on me, cutting in as usual, Nick Mendola style. No, look, I think Tuchel has not been defeated by Klopp in regulation in some time, because I remember seeing a stat about this going back to a match against PSG in the group stage of the Champions League. I think there are a lot of draws in there, and obviously Liverpool won the one long penalty shootout. But you're right, these games have been well contested, and I'd have to look it up. I couldn't get the window open in time, but I think it's at least 4 matches since Liverpool beat Chelsea in regulation. That said, that might be reason enough to pick them.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. As I said, I'm going to be at Wembley for the FA Cup final, so head over to PST and we'll keep you updated with all the latest FA Cup final news. And I feel like Christian Pulisic has got another big day in him. He usually turns up for the big occasions for Chelsea, so let's see if we have an American hero and Pulisic is lifting the trophy. But whoever wins that competition, I think will deserve it, because Liverpool, they're going for the quadruple. I think Chelsea have had enough value this season and all the competitions they played in to probably say they deserve to get another bit of silverware out of this season. They've added enough, I think, from over the course of the campaign to suggest that. So let's wait and see what happens.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend at 7 a.m. Eastern. And for even more content, head over to Peacock, where we've got live games, original series and a dedicated round-the-clock Premier League channel featuring studio shows, classic matches and much more.